Welcome back to our video. So this video is about whether you should choose a room or apartment for your first home in the UK. So let's start.
Our opinion is you should choose a room.
Yeah, but it also depends, so we're just gonna go further on that. So first of all, if you get a contract and you're coming with a visa to the UK, maybe you should get an apartment because you have the contract, you can prove you're employed, and that is really good because that's what they look for in the renting agencies. You do have to show the contract and you have to prove that you can afford to live in that certain place. I don't know if it should be like more than half of your rent. No, I mean like the double
of your income.
Yeah, your income should be more than double.
Twice more than your rent.
Yeah, something like that. I can't say for sure, but I think that's the way they think.
We're not very into it, yeah, but...
I mean, I can't say for sure what is that they're looking for, but they really would like someone with a contract because, as we'll explain on another video, there's a 0-hour contract, which is a contract which means you're employed, but it does not guarantee the agency that you will be able to pay the rent because
every month,
it's a 0-hour, which means the hours you work fluctuate and could be 0-hour. That's why it's called 0-hour contract, because sometimes you might work 0 hours in the whole week, and that's in the contract. They're not obligated to
give you any hours.
Give you any hours. So that's why you won't get a house if you have that kind of contract, which is the easiest one to get when you first arrive to the UK, but it also has these big disadvantages. And we'll go on that further.
On another video.
So that's why we think,
you should pick a room.
Except if you have a visa with a contract, all the other options, of other contracts, I think the best one to start with is the room, because usually you can get a contract of 6 months and most houses are like a year. So if you get a room, maybe you can get 6 months and then you can move out to your own place after that. So that's why that's a big advantage. The second one, the rent is way less. I mean, it depends on where you live, but it usually can be like 2/3 of the price of a house. And the thing is, it usually always includes
the bills,
all the bills.
Tax.
The council tax is like £100 usually. Depends
a month,
on if you live in a small place in a small town, it will be obviously much less, but it can be like up to £100 per month.
Here where we are, £100 is it's the cheapest one.
Yeah, it's in the area. It's £100 per month
the
where
cheapest.
We live.
Yeah,
the cheapest. So, if you have a bigger house, you will pay more council. So
if you have a room, you don't have to pay these things.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay the bills. Normally they come included with the rent. That's why you save.
It would be like, imagine the room is like 500, but it also has everything included. So you're paying 500 per month, but you have everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ours is 535.
Yeah, for this house, which you've seen in the video, I hope.
Yeah.
And it's just
we don't know which one is coming out first.
It's not really good at all, but it is actually the only thing you can get in this area. I don't know why. I mean, actually, people have told me it's because there are many factories in this area, so the demand is really high and the prices are absurd.
Very absurd.
And like apartments in this area, you would expect to 650. So,
but without the bills.
Yeah, it doesn't include anything. You would get a really nice apartment for that. The ones I've seen as at least, but then you don't have the council tax, which is £100, and then the bills, water, electricity, internet. It could be like 100 more. So you would expect to go like up to 100, like 850 or something like that.
Yeah, for a house.
Yeah, it's just not great. That's why if you have a room, it might look like, okay, just for 300 more I can get a house.
And many times we saw these apartments, they don't have furniture, so you would have to buy your furniture.
Yeah, in the room you always have everything furnished, so that's also a big advantage.
Because when you are in a room, like, the landlord is responsible for providing you with what you need.
Yeah, like everything in the room. If you need,
he built us a bed. We didn't have a bed.
Yeah, we didn't have. We just a mattress, and the mattress is horrible.
Yeah.
I have back pain that I don't know if I'll ever cure out of. It's true. Like, it's sometimes I feel like, okay, it's not so bad today, and then I just do a tiny movement, and I feel like just like someone was stabbing me in the back.
Pray for Jenny. She will get better. Pray.
Yeah.
Subscribe. That will help.
So that's why we think it would be the best option to just rent a room. So the contract is usually for 6 months. You can easily get a contract for 6 months. The price is obviously cheaper, and it comes with the furniture. But
summing it up, this is all it is. Cheaper.
But we also have the big disadvantage. Like, that's why you have to counterbalance everything, which is you do not have your own personal space. I mean, you have your room. Sometimes you even have to share it if you're really up to saving money. You can even share your own room as if you were like in university residency. But the thing is, you share the kitchen and you share the living room, and I mean, maybe you can just stay in your room like we do, but then everything is dirty. Like, you want to go to the bathroom and they're over there for like an hour or two. If I would go to the bathroom in the morning, I would have to get up like 2 hours before I had to leave to work, and I lived like 10 minutes away from work, so I usually just wake up 15 minutes before. And I don't even drink water on the night before that, because I do not want to wake up 2 hours just to go pee on my own house. So that's why it's just difficult to find actually good people to live with. So the ultimate best option would be to have friends that you would like to rent the house with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you would trust them. I mean, maybe you can like end friendships with living with those people, because it's always good until you have to live together. Then you can actually see what the person is. But I think it's always better than just to live with strangers, because you don't feel comfortable telling them like, you left this dirty, just could you clean it up? If you have your friends, you just be like, you pig, you left this dirty, wipe it with your tongue or something. I don't know. I feel like it would be much better if you had friends to share a house with. So that would be the ultimate best option if you could get that. But we do not have any friends.
So summing it up, we think it's better to have a room for the first time, because it's a lot easier to just rent a room. It's a lot cheaper for you. You don't have to pay council. You don't have to pay bills, and you come with all the furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be just the best option for the most people. So that's why we decided to make this video, just to show you the advantage and disadvantages. Obviously, if you have an apartment, you have the whole place for yourself. And that's great, I guess.
But I mean, when you're coming to the UK, the thing is, you don't know if you're going to stay for long, or you don't know if you're going to move to a different place, right? So that's another reason why we think it's better to have a room, because maybe you just feel like, oh, I can't get a job in this city, or I don't like this city, so you just want to move somewhere else. Well, if you have an apartment, you have to stay.
Yeah, you are obligated in the contract to pay the rent for that period of time. I mean, you can break contract, but you would have to pay like £200. I've seen our contract that we tried to make, but it was like a whole thing, and it would be like £200 or something to break contract.
Yeah.
So you would have to pay the rent for a year, or maybe if you think you really want to break contract with them, you'd be fined for £200 on top of the rent and the deposits, because also in the rooms, you also have to pay deposits. But I think it's best, this is advantage of living in a house with other people, because they can only blame you for something that happened in your room. If the house is broken, how can you say who was it? I mean, maybe the person who did it knows, but they will not say it.
No,
so
it's their responsibility to landlord.
So that's a thing you should keep in mind. They cannot take your deposit if it was something in the common areas. Only if it was in your room specifically, because you're the only one in it, so it was you, obviously. But in an apartment, no matter what, you will never get your full deposit back. That's for certain, unless you like take pictures of the whole house and show every crack or something. They can even take your deposit to paint the house. They say, oh, the house needs to be painted, so we'll just take £200 of your deposit to paint the house, or something like that. Something that could just take like £50, they will say it will cost like 200. So
they agreed, yeah. Well, that's it, I think.
Yeah, that's it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we helped in some way or another. You can also leave comments down below and just ask any question you think we do not get in this video.
Questions.
Yeah, we'll answer everything we know. We've read contracts and we've had the experience, and we are in the room, so we can also like say something of the both. You also get like council houses in some cities, but it's just not easy. In this city, you have to live for 3 years to get a council house, which is a cheap house. It's very cheap compared to all the other houses, but it's just not easy. They will not give it away to anyone. You have to prove that you need help paying the rent and that you work in the city, everything. And sometimes, like in the city, you have to live here for 3 years to apply for a council house, and still you can get refused if they think you're not poor enough or that you are fine on your own or something like that. So it's just not a good option to just be sitting around waiting for a council house. Just try to negotiate with private landlords or something like that. I think that's the best option. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.